cover all of this stuff. I'm going to put timestamps in the description box so you guys can skip to whatever you want. I'm going to talk about March. I'm going to talk about this virus situation, my work situation. I'm going to talk about my March TBR. I'm going to talk about what I've read, what I haven't read, and I'm going to talk about my finance update. I haven't talked to you guys in forever with all this crazy stuff going on. Things have been really crazy since March. As you guys know, I was planning to do a lot of traveling in March, which the first trip happened because it was at the beginning of the month. We went, we came back. Since it was a conference, I was planning to self-quarantine for 2 weeks just to make sure that we didn't get my grandma sick from, you know, any exposure from that conference. And then I was planning to go back to her house after those 2 weeks. But then all the stay-at-home stuff began, and so I've been staying with my mom for the last month and a half. I had videos filmed at my grandma's house, but I wasn't able to post them because they were related to books that I had over there that I wasn't able to read, including my March TBR. So I'm going to cover all of this stuff. I'm going to put timestamps in the description box so you guys can skip to whatever you want. I'm going to talk about March. I'm going to talk about this virus situation, my work situation. I'm going to talk about my March TBR. I'm going to talk about what I've read, what I haven't read, and I'm going to talk about my finance. So all of that will be in this video, and the timestamps will be in the description box for whatever you want to see. March, we went on the first trip. We traveled, went to the conference. We were supposed to go on a weekend trip. Actually, I was supposed to go on 2 weekend trips. One was just a weekend trip to an amusement park that's a couple of hours from my house, and like a resort kind of thing just for a couple days. And then the other trip was supposed to be my church leader weekend, and neither of those ended up happening because of the coronavirus stay-at-home stuff. I was planning on filming those things, and obviously that didn't happen, so I didn't have any content for March because I didn't have my books, I didn't have my finance notebook, and I didn't end up going on any of those trips. So everything that I planned for March didn't happen. Then, you guys know I had the TBR game, and the March TBR game, you guys know I had the little jars that I put together, had some prompts. I was supposed to get books from different places. All of those books I had at my grandma's house, the exception of 2 that I had brought with me on the first trip. I wasn't able to read the other books because by the time I was able to get them from my grandma's house, I was already working so much that I didn't really have time to read, and when I get home I'd be doing stuff with my mom, and I just wasn't able to read the books on my March TBR. Normally, I would then punish myself and have to read the next 10 books on my DNF'd list of books that I still have that I haven't finished, but those are also at my grandma's house, so I wasn't able to get those. However, I have a ton of books here, not only the books that I brought with me that aren't on the TBR list, books that I've hauled since then, and all the books that are here at my mom's house. So I'm not doing the TBR game or the TBR, that whole situation, until I read what I have here. That being said, I did read 2 of my March TBR books, and I'm going to show you which ones they were right now. You guys can see I'm in my pajamas because that's just the way we've been living life. So the 2 that I read were Romeo and Juliet and this Christie book. So this was my middle grade that I was not looking forward to, but it actually was pretty sweet. I think I rated it a 3 or 4 on Goodreads. Don't even remember. It was a long time ago. I should have looked this up, but I didn't, and I'm filming on my phone. So it was talking about racism in the culture where she lived. She moved to a place in Tennessee, and it was just a really good book for middle school. I do remember when I tried to read this in middle school, I didn't like it, and so I don't think I ever finished it, but I'm glad I read it now. Not one of my favorite books in the entire world, but glad that I finished it. And then this copy of Romeo and Juliet, I actually didn't read from this one. I actually just read it online with the, I think it's Spark Notes, has the No Fear Shakespeare, and so it comes with the Shakespearean on one side and then modern English on the other, and I really enjoyed reading it that way because then I could understand what they were saying. And I think I'm actually going to unhaul this copy because I would like to get the either the No Fear Shakespeare books themselves or just a single volume collection of all Shakespeare's works. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and put it back into the freestanding library, something like that. And I may actually get rid of this one too, I'm not sure yet. Along with what I read in March, I had filmed a video talking about this that I don't think I ever uploaded. So, you guys know that this is my 2020 devotional. I am so far behind on it that I'm just going to pick up where I left off, but I'm just going to pick up on the day of the week that I start reading it again, and when I finish it, I finish it. It will be in 2021, but I am not going to try to go back and catch up. Part of the reason that I got behind on this is I was trying to read these for Lent. I read 3 excerpts from my 40 Days for Life devotional. It's so good. I really wanted to take time on this, but with my work schedule and I would be bringing books, I could not bring all of these with me to work, and I don't have that much time to read. So what I'm going to do is read this in the fall 40 Days for Life. I will read these the 90 days before Easter. So what I'll do, Preparing for Easter by C.S. Lewis is really a bunch of excerpts from his regular work. It's not really written specifically for Easter. So what I'll do is, I think this was 40 days. I think it's 40 days. So the 40 days before, or 40 or 50, something like that. One of these is 50, one is 40. This is 40. Okay, so this is 50. The 50 days before Lent, I will read Preparing for Easter next year. And then for Lent itself, I will read this one because it's From the Grave by A.W. Tozer, because this one was written specifically for Easter. I do have a fiction series that I read starting last month and going into this month. But first, I will talk about the audiobooks I listened to. I'll show you the pictures here. First, I listened to Vlog Like a Boss by Amy Schmidauer. Her name is now Amy Landino since she got married since she wrote that book. I listened to that, which is really great because obviously I like vlogging and I want to be better at it for you guys. I listened to the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I listened to that, very excellent, highly recommend. Everybody should listen to it, whether you are Christian or not. I think that it's something that you should be aware of what that book contains because it's very strategically written and just, I loved it. It was very thought-provoking, convicting, very good book. I gave that one a 5 stars. And then Vlog Like a Boss, I think I gave 4. The series that I began in March and have continued through this month has been the Copernicus Legacy, and this was the middle grade series that I picked up from my library because you guys know I want to read through all the middle grade books at my local library. Well, these were the first ones and that I just picked off the shelf. They were the first 2 books, so I said I'd start with these, and I love this series. I just almost destroyed it, but this series is so good. It was very slow starting off. I did say in a vlog that it didn't have my full attention when I first started, and there are some parts that are kind of like, meh, that's just filler. I've given 4 stars to both of these because they're not like totally gripping, but they are in the sense that I have to know what happens because they're so good. It basically follows, and I can say this without spoilers, it basically follows this group of 4 kids. They are traveling around the world because they find out that they are the guardians of these relics that Copernicus and a bunch of other famous people had been protecting for centuries. Relics are important for keeping the world safe and not being destroyed by this evil organization. And I love it. No spoilers, but this one I loved even more because it took place largely in Russia, in places that I have visited, and so it was really cool to be able to like figure out what was going to happen because I knew the places, so I could figure out the clues, and that was so much fun. And plus, I enjoy a book much more if I can visualize it, and since I knew exactly where these things were taking place, I could obviously visualize it, and it was just so much fun. The only thing is, a lot of the way that they describe like the airports and stuff like that was not accurate in my experience at these places. So that kind of bothered me and I just didn't like that, but I really enjoyed reading them and want to know what happens. I am also reading on my Scribd free trial. I'm reading the next book in the series, and so far it's been really good. I'm on like page 97 or so of that. So that is all my book reading update. I've also started some books that I've hauled, but what I'm going to try to do is finish this Scribd book that I have, since I have the free trial and everything. Then I will work on reading the other books that I've started. The next one is on Audible Stories. I've been listening to Persuasion by Jane Austen, and I'm really enjoying that one. And I think that it's good that I'm listening to it first before I try to read it, because I can tell that I would just get really distracted trying to read it. So I'm glad that I'm getting the overall story by listening to it first, so that way when I go to read it, I will know what's going on and be able to enjoy it that much more. My finance update, I've been very fortunate to continue working. I am considered essential because I work as a nanny, a little girl, and so that childcare is considered essential here in my state, and I think everywhere else. But so I've been very fortunate to continue working. So I have been making a really exciting announcement that I will share with you guys in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and switch over to my notebook view. Okay, so we are just doing a quick update on finances, and so this is the last time that I updated this on March 3rd with you guys. I will go ahead and say I am not sure if this video went up. I know I filmed it, but I am pretty certain that I did not upload this. So let's just go through it really quickly. At the time, I had $35 in the bank. I had made $670, had a balance of $705, was planning to make $180 that next week. This was right before I traveled. And so the total for the week was $885. Then paying my car insurance of $165, I had a total of $720. Minus tithe, I had $635 to spend that week. So then my car payment came out, bringing it to $375. My first credit card was $75 minimum payment, bringing it down to $300. And my credit card number 2, my other credit card, was $50, bringing it to $250. So this was enough to pay for my health insurance for the month. And then this was the $30 I was talking about paying my mom. What had actually happened with that? I had taken out $100, so the $170 that I had noted was not accurate. I still owed her $100 at that point, so that $30 was not correct. Let me actually go ahead and do this. $100, just so I have that record. But then the debt total was over $100,000, with $174 being student loans, $11,000 being my car loan, $3,000 credit card 1, $2,400 credit card 2, and then I still owed at that point, this says $1,259, it was actually, the total was actually $1,329.62 because she had not taken that extra money that I thought was taken out, so I owed her this total. And then so I noted that down here that she never took out the $100 that I owed from 2/21, and so that total was right there. That being said, we can go ahead, I'm going to skip a page because that marker showing is really bugging me. $710.41. In savings, I have $50.81. So that total then is $761.22. Last week, I made $555, and the week before was a little bit more than that. That's just to note. I'm going to check that, and now we need to draw an arrow because I don't want to mess myself up, because this money went to that. So then projected for this week, $555 again, which will be a total of, let's see, 22.61. So that should bring the total up to $13.16 and 22 cents at the end of this week. I found $54 that I had saved previously. Sorry, this is not as neat as writing on the desk in the computer room at my grandma's house, but I wanted to update this. So then, of course, minus tithe. There's always $55.50 based on what I've made. So then that will leave $1,314.72. I will say, just a quick note, today was my car payment, and that was $256.87, and that's already been subtracted from the account. Then upcoming payments, and I've already paid credit cards and everything like that. Upcoming payments, health insurance I need to pay for last month and this month. I want to go ahead and do that so I don't have any outstanding bills. That will be approximately $500. I'm not going to look up the exact amount, but it will be $500, which will bring me down to $814.72. It's gone up like $1. I don't know why. But then they're supposed to take off a certain percentage for the last 2 months. I don't know what the situation with that is. I'm supposed to get a refund. I have not gotten a refund yet, so I'm just going to assume everything's the same until that happens. And that, oops, I just messed that up. Car insurance, sorry, this is so not as neat as the last ones have been. $165 I rounded up to. And so that will be, I'm just going to go ahead and say that it will leave me with $650. Just to keep it even. I like to do it specifically exact, but for this one, it's fine. $650. Then next month, May car payment will be, of course, the same amount, $256. I'll go ahead and say $260, which would bring it down to $490. $490 minus, then gotta look at my credit cards, because this credit card's minimum payment was due today, so it's still showing that I owe $0 because I already paid it. This week's was, or this month's was 69 something, and so I paid, I think I paid the exact amount. Let's see. Online payment. Okay, it was $65.85 and I paid that. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume $75 like usual, and it'll be fine. So then that brings me down to $415, and then with credit card number 2, this one may not show either because it's actually not due for another week for this month, but I've already paid it. This month was $49, so I'm going to assume $50 for this one. And that brings us down to $365. I'm trying to do is save up a month's worth of expenses before I make any debt payments. So then I should have $115. I'm going to go ahead and write this as debt payment for the week. With that, we can go ahead and start talking about what I still owe. So, we'll, as always, we will write debt total and leave that spot open to be filled in. I have not looked at my student loans this entire month and a half. I don't even want to know. However, I need to see if interest frozen or not, so let's just go ahead and try to log in. So right now I'm not earning any interest on this, which is really exciting. So my student loan is 174,783.01. Now, I have not updated it since that last time, so technically it did go up a little bit, but it won't be going up after this point for as long as this freezing interest lasts. So then my car loan, I owe $10,736.73. A payment just came out today, so this has gone down. Current balance is $3,215.24. And you'll see last time it was $3,292.60. This has gone down. Finally. Is $2,408.08, and this one has gone down just a little bit. So now we get to Mom Airbnb / BCS, we'll say, my health insurance. Now, last time it was $1,329.62, and now it is $0 because I was able to pay this off yesterday. So now we have a check mark and it is totally paid in full. So that is just something really exciting, and now I will be focusing on credit card number 2. And I'm super excited to start paying that off because I hate interest. I really think that it's just really wrong, and I cannot wait to start paying that off and get it back down to 0 because, as I've talked about before, I was never minimum payment girl. I always like to have my full statement balance paid off. And so I very much look forward to getting that back down to 0. Look at this, guys. Debt total. This is obviously still not a great number, but $191,143.06. It has gone down. Yay! So I am so grateful for this because even though it's really just $1,300, it's a huge burden lifted off my shoulders, and I love that it's able to help my mom with what she needs now, and then that frees me up a little bit more that I'll be able to help her in the future. But yay, I'm so happy. So we've gone down from $192,668.77 to $191,143.06. So little by little, it's going down. And I don't ever want it to go over the 200,000 mark, so let's just keep working on it. And the goal is to pay off this, I think it's like a total of $16,000 between the credit cards and the car loan. I want to pay that off this year. The only way that I can do that is from you guys supporting this channel and from working. So working and you guys support this channel, we can get it monetized. I'd be able to pay off these loans a lot faster, and that would be so exciting, and I'd love for you guys to be part of it. So go ahead and give this video a like, make sure you comment, let me know how you are doing and how your family's doing. If there's anything I can pray for or encourage you in, that would be great. And then the third thing you can do is subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future videos. I will hopefully get some more up. It probably will be about 1 or 2 a week. if that. My schedule's a little crazy. I work pretty much Wednesday through Saturday, and then Sunday is still volunteering online. And so Monday and Tuesday are usually the only days I can get stuff done. And if I have other things that I need to help my mom with, then I usually don't get to film or post or do anything like that. So look out for videos on Monday and Tuesday, but if they don't happen, I'm sorry. But go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss when I do get to upload. And with that, I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being part of this, and I hope you guys are doing well. Bye!